heart and physical heart, because we have soul which is residing in the heart, and also our physical heart. When we are clapping, warm up your hands so we can glorify Krishna together. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Jai Janavala Jai Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
So, today we will read from Bhagavad Gita. Chapter 2, text number 14. Please kindly repeat. Matra sparsastu kaunteya.
Matra sparsastu kaunteya.
Shitoshna sukha dukkada.
Shitoshna sukha dukkada.
Agamapayino nityas.
Agamapayino nityas.
Samstitikshasva bharata.
Samstitikshava bharata.
Matra sparsastu kaunteya.
Matra sparsastu kaunteya.
Shitoshna sukha dukkada.
Shitoshna dukkada.
Agamapayino nityas.
Agamapayino nityas.
Samstitikshasva bharata.
Samstitikshasva bharata.
Matra sparsastu kaunteya.
Matra sparsastu kaunteya.
Shitoshna sukha dukkada.
Shitoshna sukha dukkada.
Agamapayino nityas.
Agamapayino nityas.
Samstitikshasva bharata.
Samstitikshasva bharata.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. O son of Kunti, the non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress and their disappearance in due course are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. They are from sense perception or sign of Bharata, and one must learn how to tolerate them without being disturbed. Purport. In the proper discharge of duty, one has to learn to tolerate non-permanent appearance and disappearance of happiness and distress. According to Vedic injunction, one has to take his bath early in the morning, even during the month of Magha, January-February. It is very cold at that time, but in spite of that, a man who abides by the religious principles does not hesitate to take his bath. Similarly, a woman does not hesitate to cook in the kitchen in the month of May and June, the hottest part of the summer season. One has to execute his duty in spite of climatic inconveniences. Similarly, to fight in the religious principle of the Kshatriyas, and although one is the religious principle of the Kshatriyas, and although one has to fight with some friend or relative, one should not deviate from his prescribed duty. One has to follow the prescribed rules and regulations of religious principles in order to rise up to the platform of knowledge, because by knowledge and devotion one can liberate himself from the clutches of Maya, illusion. The two different names of address given to Arjuna are also significant. To address him as Kaunteya signifies his great blood relations from his mother's side, and to address him as Bharata signifies his greatness from the father's side. From both sides, he is supposed to have a great heritage. A great heritage brings responsibility in the matter of proper discharge of duties. Therefore, he cannot avoid fighting. Om Ajnana-timirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. This is very important text of Bhagavad Gita, which is applicable for every one of us. Bhagavad Gita and Vedic knowledge is not the scripture which is belong to Hindus only or Indians, as many people may consider. This is a eternal truth, it's an eternal principle. I was just yesterday, my friends came from New York and we went to some place, some program, and we didn't know exactly the place, so we had to use the GPS. And as we know, we put the address and the GPS taking us to a certain place. And we didn't even go there before, we just didn't know where to go. But GPS always telling us. And we have to follow, because in this life we have to accept authority, isn't it? Because this GPS already have taken us many times to proper places, so even this time we have to believe it, because it's proved by time. Sometimes it may take different routes and ups and downs, but we're taking GPS. And first we are setting up the destination, and according to that we are reaching the point. So I told to the driver, see, you put address and we can go. Depends on the address you're putting, your route will become short or long. So similarly, Vedic scriptures, they are like GPS. Depends on the aim you are setting in your life. You will get guidance accordingly. Yanti devavrata devan pitrim yanti pitrim vrataha bhutani yanti bhuti. Jai Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, whom you are worshipping. What is your goal? And goal is to set up the supreme absolute truth, not intermediate truth. And GPS is, you know GPS? Guru Parampara system. This is GPS. And Bhagavad Gita, this is GPS for us. Guiding through so many, crossroads of life. And life is not like black and white. Sometimes we are going through very, very deep down places, very dark places in life. It's called dark night of the soul. It's very nice to be Krishna conscious and sun is shining, isn't it? And prasadam time and nice community of devotees. But what if life and destiny takes us to the dark side of our life? Saturn coming, Sadasati or Rahu, people complaining. One devotee came to Srila Prabhupada and said, Srila Prabhupada, Saturn, in my life, Sadasati now, I don't know. Prabhupada looked at him and said, you know what? Krishna, he can kick by the small finger of his feet thousands of Saturns. It's nothing. You don't have faith in Krishna. Very often, Krishna says, you have to come to me. And Shraddha Anusari Bhakti Adhikari. Depends on the faith we're investing in Krishna, not others. You see, and Shraddha, faith, it's scientific process. So Shraddha, Tata Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivrittisya. This is the process. And when we're going, when you're climbing in the beginning, it's very, very nice and joyful and very new things. But when we're reaching that plateau, reaching that plateau of Anartha Nivrittis, and then we're going to Ganatarala, then we're going to Tarangarangini, then we're going to, Utsahamai, or Vyuhavikalpa, and there's so many symptoms. Oh no, and we sometimes may think nothing happens. No climbing taking place anymore, because we're going through intense purification. Today we're not going to discuss all the symptoms, but the principle is bhakti is an absolute truth, GPS. It's scientific process for everyone, of any color, any nationality, right? Once Srila Prabhupada, he was giving interview in airport, and many reporters, they took this press conference. And after completing the press conference, Srila Prabhupada was leaving out from airport already. And one young reporter, he just came late. And he didn't get chance to ask any questions. So to make up with his interview, he was running behind Srila Prabhupada and was breathing very heavily. Excuse me, excuse me. And Prabhupada said, yes. He turned like, yes. And he just simply just put the mic in his mouth. And he said, how are you different from other Buddhists? It's called channelized question. How are you different from other Buddhists? And Prabhupada was very silent. He looked at him and looked at him and looked at him. The reporter was just saying, what's happening? Eye to eye union, like Guru Govinda Maharaj was saying. Straight in the eyes, and he was silent, looking at him. And the reporter didn't know what to do. And then Prabhupada broke the silence and said, we are nothing to do with Buddhists. We are nothing to do with Hindus. We are nothing to do with Christians. We are speaking and presenting absolute truth. And if you are sincere and honest, you will accept it. Hare Krishna, and he walked away. His reporter was frozen. That was the answer. We have nothing to do with all this mess of religious fight. We are speaking absolute truth. And in those who are sincere and honest, they'll accept it. Mind is like parachute. It's working when it's open. We have to open the mind. We have to get out from the box. And that's why Bhagavatam explains, Sarva upadhivi nirmuktam tat paratvena nirmalam. Rishikena sevanam bhakti uchyate. Bhagavad scriptures, Vedas. They say that Sarva upadhivi nirmuktam tat paratvena nirmalam. We have to clean all the designations. Upadhi. Which connected to this body. That's why absolute knowledge, it's always above all these mundane designations. We have to understand the truth. As we say also, we can compromise everything for absolute truth, but we cannot compromise absolute truth for anything. And that's why Krishna explains, what is that absolute truth? What is that absolute truth? Once, devotee was going in train. He was going in train. And a very respectable gentleman, he was sitting in the train reading newspaper. And devotee was reading Ishopanishad. And if you have seen this Ishopanishad, Keshavaji is on Vishnu form from the water. And this man, he spoke very harshly. Are you Hare Krishna? I said, yes. And he said, don't you think that Krishna is your God? Too much puffed up guy. In Bhagavad Gita, he is always saying, I am God, I am God. Don't you think that he has to be a little bit more humble? He has to be humble. Why he is claiming, I am God, I am God? He has to be humble. Himself, he is saying in Bhagavad Gita, Amanitam, humility, pridelessness. Why he is so puffed up? I, always. So devotee could not answer anything, what to say. After some time, they were continued journey, and the devotee asked the devotee, excuse me sir, who are you? Where are you working? He said, well, I am general manager of such and such bank. And devotee said, oh really? You are too much puffed up. Why don't you say that you are driver or you are chukidar waiter in that bank? Why are you saying you're general manager? Don't you think you're too much puffed up? So this man said, well, that's true because I am general manager. If I'll say that I am sweeper or driver, it will be true, it will be false. It will be lie. And then devotee said, exactly. That's what Krishna says. Aham sarvasya prabhavu, mattah sarvam pravartate. Mattah parataram nanyat kinchit asti dhananjaya. Mayi sarvamadam purtam sutre maniganaya. He says, there is no truth superior to me. I am the source. Bhoktaram jaggitapasam sarvaloka mahishwaram suhridam sarva bhutanam gyatvam shanti mrityati. That's truth. Aham adirhi devanam. I am the source of all demigods. I am the source of all creation. I am the supreme enjoyer and best friend. If Krishna will say that he is some chota mota chiriya tota, some manager, it will be a lie. He is the God. All scriptures explain that this is God. In fact, Krishna is very humble, he said. In all Vedic literature, which is unlimited literature, only in Bhagavad Gita, very secretly, he tells only in few shlokas to Arjuna, actually, I am Supreme Lord, surrender to me. Because you are my friend and you are not envious of me, anasuyave. That's why, to you only I tell you the secret. Otherwise, naham prakashah sarvasya yoga maya samamritaha. I am not manifested to the fools and rascals. And those who are four categories of people, Naradhama, Maya Paritagyana, Asuri Bhavamasritaha. So, four kind of people, those who are lowest of the man, whose knowledge was stolen by illusion, Maya Paritagyana. And then, those who are misusing their punya, Namam Dushkriti no Mudha. Kriti means punya, Duskriti means those who are misusing their punya. Namam Dushkriti no Mudha, Prapadyanti, Naradhamaha, Maya Paritagyana, Asurim Bhavamasritaha. And demons. Who is a demon? You know, Asura? Very tough to hear actually, sometimes. Even I'm thinking, serious. Asura. Those who want to enjoy in this material world. Those who want to be happy in this material world. Everything fine, everything, let's enjoy here. As if, and Jesus Christ even senses, again, we are in his house. He said, don't adjust in this world. Don't make house on the bridge. We are not from here. We have to go to the home of my Father. I am the path. Come with me. He was leading us from here. And it's interesting that very often we don't know the direction. We cannot put GPS properly. And that's why we can end up somewhere else. So, how to understand the truth? How to use that GPS properly? All of us, we got the GPS. First, we have to become devotees of Krishna. That's why bhaktya mama bijanati. Only by bhakti you can understand it. In Brahma Samhita explained, Lord Brahma, that the greatest yogi, by doing great tapasya, by great philosophers, they can never understand God. You cannot impress Krishna. He says, Lord Brahma is praying, that those yogis, those who can travel even to the speed of mind, manaso muni pungavanam, sopyastiyat prapadasim, avichintya tattva, if they cannot understand Krishna. So how to understand him? Krishna himself says, how you can understand me? You have to become my devotee. And it's interesting, I was reading Srimad Bhagavatam. In 11th canto Bhagavatam, Lord Brahma, he himself gives the answer. This very famous shloka in the 14.3.10 canto. Gyane prayasam udapasya namantaeva jivanti sanmukharitam bhavadiyavartam sthane sthitah shrutigatam tanuvan manobhirye prayaso jitajitopya asitais trilokyam. He says, very, very, very wonderful, important shloka. Those who even while remaining situated in their established social positions, grihasthas, brahmacharis, sannyasis, those who just sthane sthita, whenever you are, remain there. They throw away the process of speculative knowledge, gyane prayasa. They don't try to speculate. And with their body, words and mind offer all respects to the descriptions of your personality, to Krishna Katha. They're giving full respect. And activities, dedicating their lives to these narrations, which are vibrated by your personality, by you personally, and by your pure devotees. Certainly, conquer your lordship, although you are otherwise unconquerable, by anyone within the three worlds. So, Ajit became Jito. He became conquered. Krishna became conquered. By whom? By devotees. Last time we were discussing like small nephew or grandson was conquering big minister and playing with him horse, riding him. So similarly, Krishna, he becomes subservient. He serving his devotees. And otherwise, it's impossible to conquer Krishna. You see, such devotees, they are ready to take all kind of difficulties for him. In this verse, mentioned two names, Kunti Maharani and Bharat. Arjuna connected to both of them. How many difficulties Kunti Maharani went through? No one of us, we can have even close difficulties like she had. Right? In Mahabharata. She lost the husband, she has to take care of her children, and so many torture. But still she is praying, Krishna, we are always remembering you. Because by remembering you, there is no birth and death. Remembering more important, Krishna. Smartavyam sadatam Vishnu. This is the instructions of the Vedas. And Bharat Maharaj, he was a top brother of all, brothers of Rishabhadev. Bharat Maharaj. How much he had to tolerate. By small mistake, he became the deer. Then he became Jat Bharat. People humiliated him, they were criticizing him. So Krishna reminding Arjuna, Arjuna, you see how much your forefathers had to tolerate. And you inherited those qualities. So Titiksha Svabharata. We have to learn how to tolerate. And that's the formula which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave us. My dear devotees, it's not the theory. We have to tolerate inconveniences external. We have to tolerate inconveniences of the mind. Sometimes battlefield is outside and inside. And we have to fight with two hands. Outside obstacles and inside also. Different Rakshasas coming up and you don't know, oh my God, like what to do with them. Isn't it? And at the same time we have to smile. Be happy, Prabhupada said. Once I wrote one poem like this. I will smile through the sadness, like shining sun through the clouds. I overcome my madness, and free myself from doubts. When life will throw me down, with no light around, I firmly put on tilak and chant the holy sound. Don't worry profit or the loss, surrender life to Supreme Boss, and far and wide try spread his fame by chanting sweet and holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So that's what devotees they have to do. Because sometimes the sun's shining, sometimes it's cloudy, sometimes it's cold, sometimes hot, isn't it? Sukha, dukkha, sita, ushna. Krishna says it. Mam titiksha svabharata. We have to go through. And even you don't like sometimes something, you have to do it. Or sometimes you like something, but you shouldn't do it. Because it will become utpataya eva kalpati, it will be disturbance for society. So love means about sacrifice. Love is always about sacrifice. And it's interesting what comes to my mind. Example of Ramayana. This is by reading the shloka. Jnane prayasamudapasya namanta eva. When somebody with mind, body, words, dedicating themselves to glorification of Krishna and his pastimes and his holy name. In this shloka particularly, Brahmaji, he's saying that those who Shruti gatam tanuvan manobhir, tan by body, by speech, by mind, otherwise it's impossible. Such an example was Hanuman, Ramaduta Hanuman. No? In Ramayana there is a wonderful example when Ravan, he captured Sita and kept her in Lanka. And she's sitting there, and then Hanuman drops that Anguta, Anguti, boom, and Sita, oop, Ikase. And that was very special Anguti. What was that? When Ram was his guru, they were traveling with Ram, Lakshman and Guruji. He was taking them. And when they came to Janakpur, to Nepal. You know Nepal? Janakpur? How many of you been in Janakpur? Only you. Oh, most welcome. Now, there's a wonderful opportunity for me to invite all of you. Please come. Janakpur. Janaki. In fact, in Srimad Bhagavatam, sometimes I'm joking, in Srimad Bhagavatam, most of the stories, heroes are from Nepal. Okay. Pandavas, they spent 13 Agyatavas, 13 years, 13th year in Agyatavas. Where? Matsya Naresh, Virat, king of Virata. Isn't it? King of Virata, Matsya. And that's Virat Nagar, it's in Nepal now. So there's so many places where Pandavas, Arjuna put some arrow in the ground, the lake came out, and then so many cows were stolen there. And then Pashupata Astra, Pashupatinath, not Shiva. So Arjuna got Pashupata Astra over there. Many, many stories, how the Pandavas, they visited that place. King of Virata, Matsya Naresh, he had two children, daughter and son. Son is Uttar Kumar and daughter is Uttara. And Arjuna was who? Rihangala. He was Napumsak because he was cursed by Urvashi. And Indra reduced it to 1 year. O काम दे दिया उसको. And because he was training the Uttara dancing. And after everybody became to know that this is Arjuna, Bahubali, Arjuna. Okay, please, can you get married with my daughter? And Arjuna said, no, come on, I'm a teacher. How a teacher? I cannot just, and she's like my daughter. She can be married with my son, Abhimanyu. Abhimanyu. That's according to Abhimanyu. And Uttara and Abhimanyu, they got married. And who was the son? Parikshit Maharaj, Nepali. So, here we go. So, Uttara, Mahayogi, she's praying to Krishna when Brahmastra went, And also, you can see in 11 Canto Bhagavatam, there is Mithila Naresh, Nimi Maharaj, Nimi, and Mithila. This is Mithila Brahmanas. Navayogendras, they came. This is also Mithila. This is Janakpur, Mithila Brahmanas. Like that. Many, many narrations are there. So it's very wonderful to see the history, because if you don't remember the history, you don't have any future. Yeah, and Ram, he came to Mithila, to Janakpur. And he broke the Dhanush. And then king was very happy. Now you have to get married. And Ram said, well, I went for the yatra, घूमने के लिए. I didn't take any dowry with me. I didn't take any gifts with me. I don't have anything. You see? And then what? I have to give you a gift. Janak Maharaj, he gives so much gift and just Varmala and everything. But Ram said, I don't have anything. Neither I took anything with me. I didn't plan to get married. I just, somehow I'm brahmachari, so on the way, I just got and found you and like that. So I don't have, but I have to give you something. I definitely have to give you something. And during the marriage ceremony, that was the only ring which Ram and Sita, it was like only one piece. There's no photocopy. It was not, that time China was not there. So. And he said, well, the exchange, it was the only personal ring of Ram. And Sita was thinking, when she found it, a ring dropped. She was thinking, come on, what is this? It's called Rakshasa, some kind of Maya, something happening. Because this ring, nobody can conquer Krishna. Ram. He's Supreme Lord. Nobody can conquer. Nobody can take it from him. Then how come it came here? Then what is this? Maybe some kind of illusion. But no, this is only one piece. And it's also with my Lord. How it came here? And then all of a sudden it's dropped. And Hanuman started to glorify Shrutigatam. He said to glorify the activities of Ram, how they met with Sita, and this is, and then he said, Rama Duta Karmani Dhanduta. So Karmani Dhan, when Ram, he used that word, Karmani Dhan. And Sita heard this name. How come he knows this? The secret password. How he got access to this password? Karmanidhan. And that's what actually Ram, it's only Sita Maharani, she knew this. Because when Ram, he said, I have to give you gift. I have to give you gift. I have nothing, but I give you gift. I will never ever be attracted to any other woman like than you. Ekapatni Vrata. I will take only one part of Ekapatni Vrata. It's a very bad, better gift. What can be better for the wife? I promise that I will not be distracted and attracted to any other woman but you. And Sita said, oh, Karmanidhan. You are such a glorious, executor of, you are fixed in your karma, in your Karmanidhan. And that word Hanuman used. I am Dut of Karmanidhan, Ram Duta. And then Sita, she trusts, okay, must be he knows that because Ram told him. He conquered my Lord by his devotion. So I can trust him. The idea is that we can trust devotees, those who conquered the heart of, and then Gopi also, we know that story of Prataparudra Maharaj, we discussed in the picnic. Then Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he didn't want to give darshan to Prataparudra Maharaj because he was a king. No? With this pounds and shillings, Prabhupada says also, I don't want to associate with rich people. Who cares? I don't care. Because their consciousness polluted by this business, money. I don't want to do anything with them. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was very particular in his dealings with people. Only those who were very, very pure devotee he was associating. Otherwise, only general darshan, Hare Krishna, finished. So when king, he really wanted to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said no. And then Ramananda Roy, Sarup Damodar, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, everybody trying to convince him, please meet, he's such a nice person. He's serving and he's providing facilities and he wants to meet you, he's a great devotee. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, no, I don't want to meet him. What to do? And Ramananda Roy, he started to glorify him. And he was telling, very interesting, he was telling us, see, I was the minister in South Indian government, in India. And he became to know that I am your devotee. And he freed me from minister job. And he provided me the pension, remuneration money for the rest of my life. And he sent me here so I can be with you all the time. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he heard this, he said, well, because he did service to you like this, because he's serving devotees, Krishna very soon will give him full blessing. He'll get mercy of Krishna very soon. Not directly to Krishna, but to the devotees of Krishna. Dasana dasa bhavitasmi goya. And then next day, king sent his son. He sent his son, small child. And they dressed him in yellow dhoti. And when he came to the Gambhira, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw him. And immediately he said, oh, Krishna Nandan, he's like Krishna. He's a Shyam Sundar. He reminded me Krishna. And he is Mahabhagavat. He called him Mahabhagavat. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and hugged this boy and bestowed Krishna Bhakti to him. And interesting enough, that's the point. First of all, the lesson we're learning that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to show that qualification does not depend on the position, whether you are Raja, Praja, Zero, Hero, ABC, GBC, it doesn't matter. It doesn't depend on your external position and status. What is the qualification? This Rajkumar, he was a simple boy and he also was a king, small king. He also was living in the royal palace. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called him Mahabhagavat. But it's interesting enough, when this boy came back, Raja Pratapruddra was stunned. He was just surprised. And this very wonderful story. He says, Sei hoiti bhagyavan rajaranandana. This, he said, Prabhu bhakta gana madhye hoila eka jana. He said, Sei hoiti bhagyavan rajaranandana. This is the son of the Raja. He's very, very fortunate. Very fortunate. Why? Because Prabhu Bhakta Gana Madhye, he got association Bhakta Gan. He got association of devotees. Ei Mata Mahaprabhu Bhakta Gana Sanghe. He got this association with devotees, Gana Sang, Bhakta Gana Sangha. And Srila Prabhupada very nicely he writes. He says, on the previous day, Prabhupada writes, that's those who are getting association of devotees, those who are getting the mercy of God, Krishna, in 1 second he can become transformed. I was sharing this in our picnic discussion. That but one glance of Krishna or his representative, pure glance, our life can be transformed. And I do have this realization, which I am sure I should share with you. One glance. One flower can express emotion. One word can set the goal. One star can guide the ship in the ocean. One vote can change the destiny of country. One prayer can make out of animal human being. One breath can be the distance between the earth and spiritual world. And one glance of one person can change your life. So true. And Srila Prabhupada writes, on the previous day, the boy was simply an ordinary prince. Sadharan Rajkumar. Ordinary prince. And the next day he was counted as one of the topmost devotees of the world. This was all made possible by the causeless mercy of the Lord. The Lord is omnipotent, all-powerful or almighty, and he can act as he likes. Not by external purification and designations, nayamatma balahinena labhya namedhaya nabahunam shrutena. Again, not by big money, we cannot purchase Krishna, not by big projects, not by big external, big tilak, and just big beautiful dhoti with big osari, with borders like this, and by Haribo, Saregama, that's okay. It's by the heart. Krishna is Bhavagrahi Janardana. Many stories. In Jagannath Puri, we know that story, right? So one lady, she was so much devoted to Jagannath. And she was cooking for Jagannath, and she has to offer the khichdi to Jagannath ji in time. And she used to wake up and brushing the teeth, and then with the same brush was mixing the khichdi and brushing it. And one pujari he saw, what are you doing? Not to be imitated, okay, Mataji? What are you doing? This is not the standard. Oh, really? What is the standard? You have to do Achmanyam, Patram, Om, Keshavaya, Om, Matavaya, Om, Govindaya, Om, Matsudanaya, Om, Trigaramaya, Om, so many mantras you have to do. Then you have to do Achmanyam, then you have Arati, Madhuparkam, and then you have to go and take bath, and you have to, so many things. Oh, and then you start cooking. Oh, really? So this lady was shocked. I have to do, I didn't know before. So I started to do, and so the very last time came, Kishi is supposed to be ready, but she didn't even start cooking. And when she started to cook, khichdi was not ready. She was hot on the stove, hot, boiling. And Jagannath came to eat from Jagannath temple. And because it was so hot, Jagannath could not eat peacefully. And that pujari, he opened the Jagannath temple altar and he saw Jagannath full of khichdi like this. because he could not just eat peacefully. And then Pujari came to that lady, okay, as you were cook, continue as you're cooking, you continue cooking. Because it's creating disturbance for Jagannath. Whatever it is. It's Krishna. And that Brahmana who was cooking sweet rice in the mind, you remember? Because he had nothing he had. Okay, and then he heard in one lecture that you can do offering even manasa. Oh really? I can create some palace and golden pots, and he made a kitchen and pots and khichdi, and he was cooking and was enjoying, like nothing he had. And then finally he prepared that pot of sweet rice and was about to offer in Manasa altar. But then, oh, maybe it's very hot, I don't know, maybe it's still, I shouldn't offer it. Krishna will have trouble to eat it. Let me check it out. And he put his finger to check whether it's hot or not. And he got burned his finger in the mind. Oh, and he opened his eyes. His meditation was broken. He opened the eyes and finger was actually swallowed, this red hot, like burn. And in there, up there in Vaikuntha, Krishna was laughing and laughing. And Lakshmi asking, what happened? Why are you laughing? See, my bhakta cooking rice for me in his mind. And he burned his finger. I think I really have to send him back. Send Pushpa Viman for him. Come, take him. And he came back to Godhead. It's not, Bhaktivinoda Saraswati used to say, don't try to act in such a way so you can see God. Try to do something which God can see you. You know that very, very famous story here in the US when Jimmy Carter in 70s. Carter, have you heard the former president? Jimmy Carter. And I was that time I was in the school, I remember. And it was an election, a real story. It was election. And that election, I mean, you know that election going on all the time. To and fro and fighting between two parties. And once he won the election, he called all the state managers and all the representatives, and they had big party in White House. Like, thanks party for wonderful, successful election. And everybody reporting him and showing him everything. And the one fellow, he came and showed the newspaper. He opened New York Times newspaper, and in the front page, it was that Harinam was devotees. Hare Krishna Mahamantra, devotees. Those years, devotees were like aliens. Very catching attention. And in one university, the devotees are doing Harinam. And one fellow, smart enough, he jumped there in that Harinam and put the billboard, vote for Jimmy Carter. And one reporter was very smart and caught that. It's very, very unique picture, Hare Krishna devotees, the Sikhs, and Mridangas, and vote for Jimmy Carter. Even Hare Krishna say, vote for Jimmy Carter. So Jimmy Carter, he was laughing. He was like, wow, who did this photo? Funny that even Hare Krishna say, vote for Jimmy Carter, So I would like to meet this guy. Who did this photo? Nobody knows, because who knows? They just randomly published this photo and I don't know. And he said, I want to take dinner tomorrow with the person who is holding this billboard. Who is this person? Nobody knows. It's casual photo. Oh my God. CIA, police, secret services, go and find out. Tomorrow evening I want to have dinner with him. Can you imagine? And that guy is somewhere in different city, sitting, drinking coffee, watching movie. And then all of a sudden, some police come, cabs coming. Come on. Pushpa, I'm just waiting. And wife and panic, what's happened? And then next day he's sending photo from White House. Hi. With Jimmy Carter. What I have done? He just simply did the right thing in the right time. So he did the right thing in the right time. Not big, super pooper, just simple, small thing in the right time. He did. And that's why he attracted the attention of the Supreme Personality of America. Which is true, no? And he just simply by his own, I want to take dinner with this person. That's it. And if Krishna wants to take dinner with you in Vaikuntha, just some Siddhi Haritoshanam, just please him. And to please him means to please his devotees. That's simple. And by pleasing his devotees, you ajito. And what is the best service to the devotees? Huh? Not prasadam. Ramji ka chiriya, Ramji ka khet. Khao chire barwar ki pet. So, the best seva is Shushrushokshtadadhanasya Vasudeva Katharuchik Yat Mahat Sevaya Vipram Punya Tirtham Shiva. We have to give them donation, your ears. Yat Mahat Sevaya. This is Mahat Seva. Shushrushokshtadadhanasya Vasudeva Katharuchik. Vasudeva Katha. Right? And by hearing that, we are benefited. Everybody benefited. Listener benefited. Nowadays people say don't want to listen. They have so many priorities. Somebody sent me the one statement. Lack of time is a myth. It's a sapna. It's not real. Lack of time. I don't have time. No. It's only a question of our priorities. Who wants, he will find the opportunity. Who doesn't want, he will find the reason. Isn't it? So like that. So therefore, we always saying that opportunity is always there. Only question, can we take this opportunity and use it? Because if you're not using, you're losing. So that's why, and then, yes, by association of devotees, one can become Bhagyavana Jiva. Very fortunate. And Srila Prabhupada mentioned in one of the lectures, so therefore we creating ISKCON, and ISKCON is an organization to make unfortunate people fortunate. That's the purpose of ISKCON. Unfortunate people fortunate. Brahmanda Brahmete Kono Bhagyavana Jiva Prasare Krishna Gurupaya Bhakti Lata Bija. Before I came here, I went there and prayed to Jesus Christ. I said, what should we speak today about? And there's Bible there, so many Bibles there. Huh? And I opened one Bible. And it was a statement. I am the Lord, and only fortunate can understand this. Oh, fortunate. Bhagyavana Jiva. Okay, let me speak today about who is fortunate enough. Brahmanda Brahmete Kono Bhagyavana Jiva Prasari Krishna Gurupaya Bhakti Lata Bija. Those who are very lucky, they came in contact with devotees, and from devotees they got this Bhakti Lata Bija. Not Karma Bija, not Jnana Bija, Yoga Bija, Bhakti Lata Bija. And that can be only by the glance, through the glance of pure devotees, Krishna. And I tell you one example from my life. Should I tell you one small, simple experience? Before I was in army, and I was a commander in uniform, and one day I went to a restaurant, and I saw I was vegetarian, but it was no vegetarians around at all, those days in 80s, 90s in Russia, nothing. So we had to, okay, I used to go to a restaurant or some cafe, and I used to tell, can you kind of take a meat, give me only juice. I don't want meat. So they were taking out meat and they were giving me only juice or the soup or something, no meat. And while standing with some tray, I saw one man in front of me, some 3-4 people ahead, also did same thing. I don't want meat, give me only juice. I said, oh, Torgati Morgati. So it means he's the same field. Because very rarely you can find anyone who is interested in vegetarianism. So I took my tray and I came and sit with him. Can I sit with you, excuse me, sir? He said, oh yeah, sit down. And I said, I have one question. I heard you also didn't take a meat, which is very rare. Is it because of disease or because of some principles? And straightforward he told me, there are the scriptures known Vedas. Have you heard about this? I said, no idea. And he said straight, now after 10 minutes, one guru came from India. If you want to hear his lecture, I can take you there. I was thinking, that's interesting. And it takes 2 crazy people to complete the task. let's go. We didn't even finish the food. We jumped in the cab because the lecture was about to start. And he dropped me there. It was an orphanage house in Kiev, in Ukraine capital. And he found somewhere orphanage house. It was a secret lecture underground. And he came there and said, now you go, I am not going. Hey, come on. What? And he just turned back and ran away. And here I am in front of the door. Nice smell of agarwatis. And big mountain of shoes outside. It was I was impressed by this picture, big mountain of shoes. Because in church usually you never take out the shoes. You just go in like this. But this was big mountain. I said, what is this? So many shoes. But anyway, since I came, I have to go inside. And some bhakta told me, hey, remove your boots. So I had tough time to remove the boots, and put it nicely. So I went in uniform and socks. And I saw so many people, like 100 people sitting with like antennas like this and bed sheets. And lectures going on. For me, it was like aliens, different planet, Scary, it just really. And I just came, okay, anyway, I'm here. No problem. I'm not going to be part of this, but let me hear what they're talking. And I remember it was at Shloka 7:7. Mattah parataramna anyat kinchit asti dhananjaya. Mai saramudam prodam sutremani ganaya. So I am the thread, and all pearls, everything rests upon me, and there is no truth superior to me. I am like everything rests upon me as a pearl, but I am not visible, I am not seen. So I thought it was a very good point actually. So I took my note. I still have pen, and notes as a student. I'm still carrying that habit is there. So I took the note and I started to write down. So the guru who was sitting there, he became a little bit uneasy. Can you imagine one guy, officer, police comes and starts to write down something? Maybe he's just like, all the names, number of people, And that was Harikesh Maharaj that time. And he was kicked out by KGB, by police secret services 10 years ago. That was after 10 years of, absence in Russia. This was his first time he came back again. And again, police comes and starts to write down. You don't know is it police or who is this guy, because uniform, you don't understand what's marks here. So it was an uneasy feeling, and then he slowly he finished the lecture, rolled up lecture, and I can see that everybody prepared to leave the room, and a big hall, double bigger than this, and everybody started to prepare to stand up and walk. And I was thinking, okay, let me first run away first. Otherwise I was stuck in this crowd, amongst this Hare Krishna, Hare Ramas, Let me just get out. And I first stand up and run away. I didn't sit down actually, I was near to the wall. And I went out, and in this big mountain of shoes, I was trying to find my boots. I lost my boots. Where's my boots? And where is my boots? I lost them. I think I found one, but second one I couldn't find. So and here it is, one guy standing in uniform, one boot and one sock. I know what to do now, how to find my boot. And meanwhile, they came. So Guru came, and many people following him. Nobody can follow in front of him, but behind him. And when he came, and I had, okay, I have to wait. And it was very narrow corridor, very narrow. So I stand against the wall of the corridor, just to let him go. And I stand leaning against the wall, so let him walk by. So as soon as he was passing by, he stopped in front of me. He's tall. And all of a sudden, he looked at me straight like this. He looked at me, and because corridor was very, very narrow, and I didn't have space to go back, he nailed me to the wall with his eyes. He wanted to see who is this officer who was writing everything. And I was nearly a boy that time. You see? And I was just a young lieutenant, and he looked at me, and looked at me, and looked at me like maybe 20 seconds. No silence. Mosquito will fly, everybody can hear. Pin drop silence, because everybody became so many devotees. And he's looking at me, and looking at me, and in my eyes straight, and I was thinking, what's going on? I started to become nervous, And all of a sudden, the silence was broken. He was saying, Haribo! And I was sliding in the morning. I was sweating. My God, Bakka people, I don't know, who are these people? I didn't know what to think about these people. And I just screamed loudly, Haribo! Can you imagine from zero to hero? Silence. Haribo! In my eyes, direct. Yes, sir. And they went. And behind him, all these people, Haribo, 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 like Tufan. And I was behind my like this. Finally, I found my boot and I was thinking, let me run away from here as quickly as possible. What's going on? And on the way back, I'm not exaggerating, I'm seriously, that time it was such a... And I was walking from this underground. One devotee gave me some khichdi prasadam. Take it. I said, what is this? Take it. It's very important, very holy. So I took something and then I was walking out, and on the staircase I saw one creature, you know, when bed sheet like this. And he was shaking like this. Later on I understand that he was chanting Hare Krishna Mahamant. But that time I was in a dream or something like. And I was just like, oh my God. Very dangerous practice, huh? And I didn't know where to run, and I came out from the building, and outside it was like big kirtan going on. And honestly speaking, sharing with you, I didn't understand anything. In fact, I was kind of repulsive from everything. But then when I heard the kirtan, I was feeling like, let me take my uniform. I wanted to join the party. I wanted to join a dance there. I don't know what this guy is chanting, but energy was so nice and attractive. I really wanted to go there and dance with them. But my inner baby was telling me, no, you are officer. You cannot do that. It's bad prestige. You are not baby. You be grown up adult. Don't dance like this. So I restricted that time. I restricted myself. But my inner feeling wanted to jump and dance there. But I was, put 2 breaks, I didn't go. But later on, I understand that same feeling we're feeling now also. Every song or word is a song, every step is a dance. Why? Just by one glance. Now I'm realizing actually, just devotee, those who connected with Krishna Katha, with Krishna, they plug connected, electricity in this powerhouse. And if you're connected, as long as you are connected, you can connecting to the magnet. Even small nail connected to the magnet can get the magnetic power. And another nail, we can connect like that. So our business to be always connected to the devotees through the service. Namaruchi Vaishnava Seva Jiva Doya. In humble mood of servant. That's our mission. And if we are humble, if we are in service attitude, and not only one, everybody try to serve each other, it will become atmosphere in which Krishna will manifest. And when Krishna will manifest, no need to call people by force, no need to make advertisement. People, everybody living entities, you see, everybody feeling something. That vibration, Shakti Parinamavada, it will become attractive. Karshati, Krishna means attractive. No need to advertise Krishna, he is most beautiful. We should not cover him with our false ego, Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Mahamad. We should not just destroy the package. Krishna already has self-attractive. So that's why Krishna consciousness, we are just simply selling Krishna. Giving Krishna to everyone. Krishna say, to Mara Krishna Diti Paro. We're going and giving Krishna in the form of books, in the form of holy name, in the form of prasadam, wonderful kirtan. So that's why it's my great pleasure to be with wonderful community like here in New Jersey, and many wonderful devotees. So please take these instructions, Tanistita, Shrutigana. Whenever you are, no need to jump, grass is always greener somewhere else. But no. Grihe tako bone tako sada hari boleda. So whenever you are grihastha or you are in the forest, sannyasi, you always chant holy name. Atmeka mukmenam. And main thing, we have to work together, cooperatively, for one goal, to please Shri Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you very much. Bhagavad Gita ki.
So the last example Prabhu, that you gave, that was the realization that you wanted to share? The glance, that was the realization?
Well, I have experienced that by glance of merciful devotees, we can be wakened up from the slumber of our eyes' existence. They can break by their mercy. They can break our iron-framed hearts. Hare Krishna, Hare Bol. We may not understand this immediately, but we can understand it later. When sometimes I was sharing that ISKCON we have two kind of services last time, no? Ambulance and fire brigade. And both of them they're going to emergency area. And you have seen sometimes fire brigade? Have you seen? And where are they going? Where is the fire? House in the fire. And they're putting the ladder and they're climbing. And because it's fire, and there's some lady and children crying there. They're crying. They cannot get out from there because there's so much fire. So they're putting the foam, pipes and water. And one guy has protection cloth. Some glass here and he climbing, and there is very, very wealthy house, maybe big windows, very costly, Euro design, everything. What he does, have you seen? He climbs the staircase, which is like putting from the car. Shh. And sometimes please, and then he breaks the window by a leg. Jabardasti, by force. He is not like, excuse me, I came to help you. No? Sanskritic baat karna padta hai na? Please, what please? Get lost from here. Get out from here. And coming inside, fire around. Kamagni, Krodagni, Lobagni, so everywhere. So he comes inside and some children crying, mommy, mommy. He grabs the children, throwing from the window. Yeah? Right. And mother maybe also, and father also can come and say, hey, bad words. Crazy. Shut up, you pagli, crazy. Grabbing the hair of the lady and throwing her out. And she also, very bad words using, hey, rascal, fool. And she doesn't know that down 20 people waiting for the cloth. And then, thank you, you have to say later on, not now. So in the beginning, people, they don't understand what's happening. But later on, when everybody came back to senses, thank you. That's why, when we're bringing back our memory, Shravanadi Shuddha Chitta Kaya Udoy. In mental asylum at the beginning, everybody thinking, I am Napoleon, I am Hitler, I am Jesus. I told you this example, no? One guy came to mental asylum and he says, who are you? I'm Jesus Christ. Who told you? God. And from another room somebody said, no, I never told him. and then he went another place and there's fan moving, and one guy, he just, in one room, one guy on single room, and there's only one guy running around that room and hitting himself against the wall. Boom, boom, Layla, boom, boom, Layla, boom. Says, what happened to him? His girl, Layla, left him. Oh, really? So he got mad. Layla, boom, boom. Oh, really? Okay. So they proceeded ahead, and they found the next room, another one guy hang himself by legs to the fan. And switch on the fan and moving. Layla. What happened to this guy? Also Layla. Oh, that's the guy he ran away with whom. This is the guy with whom she ran away. Seriously, but so even so in this world everybody crazy. Everybody trying to become happy, but there is no happiness here. Happiness only was Krishna. Okay, I don't want to take it far away. You understand the point? Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.